Alright YouTube, what's up? Pokemon Wi-Fi battle number 28 here. Have a battle against PaperStickMan from YouTube. So he's going to lead with a Fortress, and I'm going to use a Latias. And I just went for the trick, just so I can mess it up in the early game. And he probably thought I would overpredict right here. But I almost did, but I'm just like, screw it, I'll go with the overheat. If he had a Heatran, I'll just bring my Miltank in, I guess, just to tank him. So he brings in his Dragonair. I'm like, what's a Dragonair doing in here? So I'm like, that's easy. I'll go for a Thunder Punch. But then he tells me, dude, it's not flying. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So I have to switch out, go into my Miltank since I'm thinking it's physical. But I'm guessing it's a mix, because that's Draco Meteor. And he does a pretty bad move right here, which probably costed him the game. He goes for a Fire Blast. He probably thought I had Scrappy, but I have Thick Fat. And he gets a crit even though it didn't help him. And since his special attack stage is lowered by 2, I know I can live more hits. And since it's physically bulky, I know I could take anything. And he misses his Draco Meteor. Didn't really matter, because I was just gonna Milk Drink again and again until he forced the switch. And he goes for another Draco Meteor. And he's just wearing his special attack down, while I'm just throwing in my Seismic Tosses. Now right here, I knew he was going to switch, but I almost went for a Thunder Wave. And I know Scizor was going to use Superpower, and I know a Miltank can take it, so I just stayed in. So basically I'm going to do like what I just did to Dragonair with its Draco Meteor. I'm going to do it with Scizor's Superpower. I'm going to wear it down. So yeah, like the moves he used, I kind of stalled him out a little, which is kind of cheap, but that's the only thing I could have done. And I know he's Choice Banded, so I'm just going to keep Milk Drinking, and then he switches out into his Infernape. And I expected the obvious close combat. So I was thinking of going into either Hitmontop or Latias, but I just chose Latias since he saw it already. He gets a crit, which was worthless. And since I don't have my specs, I can just do whatever I want. And so he brings his Revenge Killer in after my lefties. Yeah, he brings in a Scizor. So I'm switching. I'm like, if he pursuits, I can bring in a free Pokemon. So I'm like, alright, I'll go for it. I'll go for a switch. So I bring in my Hitmontop just to get the Intimidate off. And it's really bulky. So I'm going to go for the Rapid Spin, because the spikes are getting really annoying. And so he has his Blastoise in. I didn't expect an Earthquake. I just expected a special attack move. So I just brought him in. So he brings in his Dragonair. He goes for a Thunderbolt. Now I didn't even know Dragonairs can carry Thunderbolt, because I don't know anything about them. But I just stayed in, went for the Ice Beam. And it did a good chunk of damage to me. So he brings in his Blastoise, and I noticed very late in the game that it was scarfed. And of course you saw the flinch. I already knew I was going to get flinched, so I'm like, alright, whatever. Bring in my Electivire, go for the Thunder Punch, not over predicting. And he just wants to get as much damage as he can, because he knows the Scizor is going to die. And this is when I notice, no, that's not the part. He's going to make this guy die for no reason. I don't know why. Because he probably could have saved it. Because right here, this is when I noticed that it was scarfed. Like, he could have saved his Noctowl and probably been like a Star War with Miltank or Noctowl with Roost and Nightshade. You never know. But since I know this thing's physically bulky, I know I got this game in the bag. And right here, I'm just gonna throw seismic tosses at him for the game. I was gonna bring out my Hitmontop just so I can like laugh at him kinda, but I was like, I'm not gonna risk it. Crits, not gonna try it. But yeah, that's a good game, PaperStickMan. And you too, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe. Catch you later.